Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man whose ex loses it because he's moving on. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. In a nutshell, my ex-wife, female 36, had an affair with her co-worker, male 50s, who was also an acquaintance of mine. 10 months ago, she came to me and said it wasn't working out between us and she wanted a trial separation to sort herself. I felt iffy and did some digging and found she'd been having an affair with the coworker for nearly a year at that point. She was hoping for reconciliation, but I was adamant about getting a divorce. So that's what we ended up doing. Fast forward now, I'm feeling pretty good about my life. I've put a lot of effort to better myself over the past few months. I've hit the gym and am more fit than I've ever been in my life. Been excelling at work, attending therapy, and have grown closer with my friends who had to be pushed away because my ex didn't like them. I've begun to explore dating again as well. My ex-wife and the AP went separate ways as soon as I filed for divorce. I heard he transferred to another branch, but who knows? I've made it a personal rule to avoid any contact with my ex, despite the fact that she's been stalking my social media and liking my posts. Even while the divorce was going on, I managed to keep our interactions brief and to the point, which she perceived as harsh. She's also said that I'm being disrespectful towards her, especially for not returning her phone calls or responding to texts. I've blocked and moved on. I've met someone. I know it's still very early since I left my marriage, so I'm taking things slow. I do not know where we're heading, but I'm hopeful. My ex heard this from someone, and she called, then broke down. I was completely taken aback. I never thought she still had any hope of reconciliation with us. To start, she was the one who stepped outside of our marriage, and secondly, she hasn't shown a hint of remorse over what she did at any point after the affair was revealed. She mentioned something like, "Everyone makes mistakes," and she could have redeemed if given the chance, but I never let her. Then yesterday she came to my house and tried to open the door with her set of keys. It didn't work because I had had the locks changed immediately after the divorce. The woman I'm seeing was home and had opened the door. My ex absolutely went off on her, calling her a homewrecker, etc. My woman, bless her, had retorted back in kind, and my ex had left in tears. My woman was very rattled, but was also very angry on my behalf. I've let her know how much I appreciate her for standing up for me. However, my ex really astounds me, considering everything she's done, all the pain she's caused, the chaos between our families, that she's hurt that I'm moving on. Did she actually think I'd roll over and take her back? I'm done with her. I've moved forward with my life and can't wait to see what the future holds for me. But her antics keep pulling me back to my old life. Her appearing at my door after all these months has filled me with some kind of dread. I checked the Ring doorbell footage, and she really looked possessed. Does anybody have any advice for me? And before anybody says, getting a restraining order in my state is impossible without bodily harm. Now for some comments. Your ex's behavior is alarming and definitely not okay. Since a restraining order isn't an option, maybe look into a cease and desist letter. It's a formal way to tell her to stop contacting you and could serve as a warning that you're serious about maintaining your boundaries. Keep focusing on your new relationship and personal growth. You deserve peace and happiness moving forward. Your ex's behavior is inappropriate, but do not respond in anger as it might escalate things. Hell, people have gotten killed over way less by crazy exes. Keep documenting everything and consider speaking with a lawyer about your options. There might be other legal avenues to protect yourself, even if a restraining order isn't possible right now. It sounds like your ex-wife is really trying to reach out and make amends. Have you considered that maybe she genuinely regrets what happened and wants a chance to explain herself? People do make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are a wake-up call for them to change. By blocking her and not engaging, you might be missing out on an opportunity for both of you to find some closure or even mend things in a way that's healthier for your future interactions. Sometimes listening doesn't mean you have to forgive or forget, but it can help both parties and move forward without any lingering unresolved issues. Why not give her a chance to talk? Story 2. As the title suggests, my wife cheated on me multiple times throughout the course of the last few months. I had a sneaking suspicion pretty much immediately when the affair started. However, she was so convincing when I talked to her. I was never vindictive or overly confrontational when I brought it up. But man, when I did, she'd flip the script on me like I'm some kind of bad guy for trying to discuss our relationship and questioning her integrity. Anyways, I found out. She was constantly on her phone, and one night, not proud of this, I did what I had to do and read her text messages. I confronted her the next morning about the affair, and she lied. I confronted her again, this time telling her I have seen her text messages, and she lied again. Finally, I had to literally recite some of the messages I read, and she just fell silent. Her response to all this was not to apologize, but instead she told me if I didn't push her to that point, she never would have done it. I know I'm an anonymous stranger on the internet, but guys, when I tell you I have never in my life done anything to my wife that would make her cheat, I'm not kidding. I've never been physical with her, never yelled at her, never done anything that would make me question my own integrity. Truly, I'm not perfect, but I honestly have been a good husband to her. Well now, living with her has been hell. She's telling anyone and everyone we know that I have emotionally abused her. Even after finding out, I have never been mean, yelled, etc. I've told her I'm heartbroken and we're definitely getting a divorce. But honestly, that's where it starts and ends. Every little word that comes out of my mouth, she twists like I'm some kind of bad guy. She claims I'm gaslighting her, which is crazy because she is gaslighting me. She's always mean and confrontational when I see her. And honestly, I don't really say anything because I just know it'll be taken the wrong way or twisted in a way I didn't intend, and she'll start an argument. What do I do? Why is she being so horrible? Shouldn't I be the one mad at her? Honestly, I just want to coast out this divorce process and move on. But she is so overly combative, it's making a cordial divorce very, very difficult. At first, her gaslighting was getting to me. I was questioning myself hard. But I've had some time to step back and think rationally, and what she is claiming simply is not true. Someone help a brother out, cause I'm struggling. Update. I came here a few months ago looking for advice on how to handle my wife. She had an affair on me, then when confronted, blamed me for the affair. Her stance has been relentless in that fact, and she's made it her personal mission to communicate with anyone and everyone we know that she's leaving because the past few years we haven't been getting along. To clarify, things between us have historically been phenomenal. Literally 1 year ago, when this emotional affair that turned into a physical one began, it was like a switch was flipped and I couldn't comprehend why. As I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, that's hoopla. It was so sudden and unexpected, to use the word confused would be an understatement. I was like Mega Husband 2.0, killing it at work, making sure I was off and home for her no later than 6 p.m., and putting every inch of effort I could into my marriage. From making dinner, to date nights, to weekend adventures, you name it, I was doing everything in my power to cater to my marriage. And I'm not saying that haphazardly or trying to convince myself of it. She was top of mind in everything I did. Over the course of that year, she kept telling me it wasn't enough. I genuinely could not wrap my head around it. I would always ask, please help me understand. What exactly isn't enough? Is it my time? Do you need more? Do you need less? Is it our friends? Too many date nights? Not enough? I need direction here. I'm naturally a very affectionate guy. It's not like I need to be told to give someone more time and attention. So I couldn't understand what the deal was. And she could never articulate what isn't enough meant. Not once did she even give me an actionable clue. Come to find out, I was running a rat race with no finish line. I wasn't enough because she was comparing me to someone else. She was trying to fabricate reasons as to why I'm a no-good husband, and AP was the one. Now that I look back on it, it was torture. To truly put in 100% effort and be told your 100% isn't enough, direct quote, is quite literally manipulation in the highest degree. All of that to say, I'm at a standstill. Up until this point, I've warded off all the anger. Now it's setting in. I'll go through some phases. There are times I'm hunky-dory, and then other times where the resentment I have for her is so deep, I just want to pick up the phone and let her hear it. So I guess my question is, how the hell do I let go of all this anger? I feel like I just need to forgive her and move on. The thought of forgiving her seems so far off that it's difficult to comprehend that it's even possible. Final update. 20 days until final divorce date. Guys, my soon-to-be ex-wife is so manipulative, it's like looking into the eyes of the devil. I'm keeping our home, however. She still has keys and access, given that she is a part owner. We agreed that on the final date of divorce, she will sign the house over to me in exchange for an equity buyout. I swear, when she comes by on her own, she's very pleasant, amicable, and in no way, shape, or form difficult to be around. However, when she swings by with a group of friends, she is so disrespectful and mean in their presence. It's like she just meticulously pushes my buttons, blatantly disrespects me, puts on this inorganic show for them, and then leaves. For clarity, she moved out a few weeks ago. However, she has odds and ends still scattered throughout the home. She's taking her sweet time on collecting them, and I'm halfway convinced it's so she can get in a few final jabs before this divorce is over. After walking all over me during these visits, she'll send some wildly friendly text message like, "Thank you for remaining amicable with me." I quite literally am the only amicable one in this divorce process. If I were anything but a resoundingly emotionally stable person, this would have devolved into a nightmare months ago. For the first time since posting here months ago, I cracked. I did not gray rock. Albeit very calmly and maturely, I let her know that she needs to stop doing that, since she can be mean, indifferent, or nice. I don't care which one she chooses, but the shift between all three at any given time and at her own discretion is certainly not what amicable means. I continued to tell her I wish she would stop saying she's acting one way and then actually doing the polar opposite. She used that exact statement and went on a campaign letting everyone know the horrible things I said to her. Makes me realize why gray rock is a thing. I wish I just kept my mouth shut, but boy did it feel good to finally say what I was thinking. Is she doing this because she's looking to convince herself I'm the bad guy, or just to watch me implode while she still can? I know gray rock is a thing, and trust me, I've implemented it. But guys, please help me find the strength to endure this for 20 more days. I'm reaching the end of my resolve. It's like we're closing in on the finish line, and the time she has to convince herself I'm an awful human being is ticking away. So she's doing everything in her power to probe me. I don't have an enemy to my name, so seeing her turn so many people against me is the biggest thing I struggle with, and I wish more than anything I could just let that go. Oh, she knows exactly what she's doing. The issue seems to be with how you've portrayed yourself as a dependable partner, which is what's bothering her. She's losing her sense of security and stability, which is you, and she's aware of it. Life will become extremely difficult for her as she's about to be on her own. Once the divorce is finalized, the consequences will hit her harder than expected. Just wait a bit longer, and things will turn in your favor. In the meantime, continue to use gray rock even after the divorce is over. Avoid giving her any reason to feel better. Let her deal with her guilt. She knows the truth. I hope your attorney allows you to share the real story with evidence. Stay strong.